My job here today, ladies and gentlemen, is to discuss a framework and domains that I've come up with that, in my experience, about connecting technology with school improvement. These pictures that you see throughout the presentation, these are actual children, people, teachers, and my staff members in our district doing work. So let's get started. First step is we have to connect technology to curriculum. All too often I hear a lot of places talking about the technology first, especially a lot of school divisions, and I have to say this even to my people, it's not about the technology first, it's what we're trying to do with kids. What are we trying to get them to learn? And another thing is, I know I'm in the state of Virginia, but what are we trying to get them to be successful even in the global society? So our direction with technology is driven by the curriculum needs. If we're going to synthesize the school's roadmap, we need to look at the kids. Am I correct? Need to look at the students. Then we need to look at who is teaching the students. And we also need to look at what kind of assessments being used, including surveys. We want to look at the whole piece of data. We want to know about what's going on in the entire building. So often a school will come to me and they want to just concentrate on one piece. But what's happening outside of that, within the culture of your building? So to synthesize that roadmap, we need to do that. The second piece is technology people. We have to align. Now, I know you get your cars aligned, you get it fixed, right? We got to align ourselves with what's happening with the curriculum framework. So I say this, what's happening in the front row is those goals the schools have and those curriculum blueprints, whatever they are. And the back wheels, it's the professional development to make it happen. And technology folks, make sure your technology master plans is supporting the infrastructure to do exactly what the schools need to do with curriculum. So we have to align the technology with the framework. Now, here's the piece, it's always the biggest challenge, is getting the administrators on board. She's shaking her head. I got one witness in here. Getting the administrators on board, but they know exactly majority know exactly where they want the schools to go, what the needs are, and what it takes to support the curriculum. If we have technology personnel and people to help, regardless if it's mentors or teachers right there in the building, how do we get them to support what's happening with technology in the curriculum? And getting the principals to brainstorm with us. Because I've learned in my experience, if I'm trying to work over here and the principal is here, let me say it again. If I'm trying to work over here and the principal's there, and we're not on the same page, it's not going to happen. Data, data, data. Has anybody heard of the book called DataWise? It's a step-by-step guide that's done by Harvard. It's a great book if you've never heard of it. It has an inquiry process and an 8-step process. But data, everybody's talking about data. We could talk about it for a whole session. But I want to say this. We use data to make decisions about how we're going to integrate the technology to support the schools. Anytime my team sits down with the administrators, it's about, let's see the data. Where do we need to help you with? We don't want to hit only the strengths of the school. We really want to hit the weaknesses so we can close those skill gaps. So let me talk about a couple of things. Identify student needs. The student needs. My staff is just exceptional. They're very good about creating master lessons, and they can model it and help the teachers. But sometimes the teachers will have them create material based on needs that the kids already mastered. We want to hit where we want to make a difference. So let me show you something. Here's an example school improvement worksheet. Here's the school, the grade level. The goal for this particular school, and this is one piece that we pull out of the school improvement plan, was about reading comprehension skills. And then they chose 3 strategies along with the team. This is an example one. And so we came up with a sheet and we said, okay, what are those 3 strategies? How are we going to measure it? Who's going to be the stakeholders involved? What kind of time frame is it going to help with? And then we start listing the tools that we have in our district to support that. Could anyone use that? Absolutely. But it was the team sitting down and identifying what are the needs in this particular building based on our assessments that we use. So once we do that, one of the pieces is let's examine and interpret the data based on the skill gaps in NCLB. When you take that data and break it down into small pieces, it represents a child. It represents a child. Now, how can we take a technology tool to help get across to the teachers who do you have and how do we going to have to help them? Let me show you something. I'm going to flip my hat. I'm going to become a principal for a second. Can you see me? I am. Okay. I'm going to use this program called Inspired Data, and I'm going to pretend as if I'm an elementary principal. And in the state of Virginia, we have something called our state standards of learning. And a pass mark for a child is 400. A perfect score is 600. Failing is anything below 400.